In 12th place on the official list of the 12 strongest Saiyans in Dragon Ball Super, we currently have a character that most fans do not even know exists, but he is simply Vegeta's brother. Unlike Vegeta, Tarble is a low-class Saiyan, just like Goku. When Tarble was born, King Vegeta was furious at the idea of having such a weak son, and said he did not have the fighting power and aggression necessary to be a Saiyan warrior. He decided to send poor Tarble to a very distant planet, and because of that, he had never been shown in Dragon Ball until one happy day, September 21st, 2008. Few people remember that era, but Dragon Ball had not had a single episode in years. Then suddenly they decided to release an episode called The Return of Goku and His Friends. That day, Goku and the gang were gathered for a delicious banquet until a spaceship crashed on Earth. Out came a Saiyan, and everyone became tense as they remembered the evil warriors from the Z Saga, everyone except Vegeta. After that, Tarble himself explains that Namekian told him that Vegeta was on Earth after defeating Frieza. He assumes Vegeta defeated Frieza. The reason Tarble is on Earth is that two brothers named Abo and Kato invaded the planet where he lives and have been causing trouble. Goku arrives with a big smile, asking if they were strong, but Tarble reads Goku's power level and says he would have no chance. Goku then wipes the floor with Tarble by showing his Super Saiyan. According to Vegeta, Tarble is still very weak, and this special episode shows that Abo and Kato are on the same level as the Ginyu Special Forces, which is why it was so easy for Goten and Trunks as children to take them out. In 11th place, King Sadala. Now we move from a prince to a king. King Sadala is the equivalent of King Vegeta, the father of the Vegeta we know, but in Universe 6, the twin universe of Universe 7 where Goku lives. Although he has never physically appeared in the anime or the manga, he has always been mentioned with respect. When Cabba is about to fight Vegeta in the Tournament of Gods, he says that Vegeta looks like the king of his planet. This catches Vegeta's interest. Vegeta has not gotten over the destruction of his planet to this day, as seen in the recent sagas of the manga that you follow monthly here on the channel. Beyond that brief mention in the anime, the manga also references this when Cabba is defeated by Mana, and Vegeta saves him, saying he will not let him die until he fulfills his promise to take him to planet Sadala to meet the king. The reason he is in 11th place is that compared to Tarble, he is a strong warrior. However, he does not know how to transform into Super Saiyan. This becomes clear when Cabba states that he himself was the first Super Saiyan of Universe 6. In 10th place, we have Yamoshi. Everyone has always wondered who the legendary Super Saiyan is. Is it Goku? Is it Broly? Is it Bardock? None of them. Yamoshi was considered a myth until the film Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. There we learned that many years ago there was a Saiyan different from all the others. He and his 5 companions of just hearts started a rebellion against Saiyan. Being outnumbered, they were cornered, and that is when Yamoshi transformed into a Super Saiyan, surprising everyone with his transformation and fighting style. Since there were many warriors who kept attacking him, he eventually lost his strength and was sadly defeated. But he did not fully die. Although his body had no more life, his spirit began to wander, searching for 6 righteous Saiyans to create a new savior. The God Super Saiyan was his spirit that awakened Beerus's interest in the subject when Beerus had a prophetic dream. To prevent any confusion, let me point out a lie that the anime producers themselves placed in the film. In the film, Shenlong says that Yamoshi was the first Super Saiyan god. However, that is not true. But how is it not true if it is in the anime? The fans who follow the channel closely know that the people who make the anime use Akira Toriyama's script as a base but change many things. However, Akira Toriyama himself stated in an official interview that Yamoshi was the first normal Super Saiyan, the yellow one, so if he said it, that settles it. For transforming into Super Saiyan, he ranks above King Sadala. In 9th place, we have Goten. Goten is a disappointment for those who expected him to be the number 1 right now, since as a child he had demonstrated far more potential than Goku and Gohan combined. Seriously, Goten was transforming into Super Saiyan while playing, while his father and brother had to push themselves to the absolute limit in training and only managed it at a much older age. He is only stronger than those before him because he is a hybrid Saiyan and has that natural potential. Akira Toriyama, the author of Dragon Ball, has already stated in an interview that Goten is the Saiyan with the greatest potential, and that makes sense. His feats back it up. So how did he end up only in 9th place, having twice the age he had when he was dominating compared to other Saiyans at the same age? The reason is simple. Since Goten is a hybrid, he gravitated more toward normal human desires than toward normal Saiyan desires, and because of that he stopped being interested in fighting. He only came back in the most recent manga saga because he, as a teenager, was excited by the possibility of being a superhero, so he is relatively strong with his Super Saiyan, but still not strong enough to defeat 8th place. Trunks. Goten and Trunks are basically one and the same in Dragon Ball, even though their lifestyles are completely different. Trunks is the son of a scientist and a brave warrior, while Goten is the son of a traditional mother and an easygoing fighting enthusiast. Trunks and Goten share an almost identical power. They fought for the first time at the Tenkaichi Budokai, a tournament that took place in Dragon Ball Z, where Trunks came out victorious. In that same saga, Trunks told Vegeta that he was slightly stronger than Goten, which left Vegeta Vegeta unsatisfied because he expected more dominance from his son over Kakarot's son. Trunks and Goten generally make the same decisions. When one fights, the other fights. When one stops, the other stops. So the gap between them stays the same, with a slight advantage for Trunks. This can be confirmed by the card games from the most recent Dragon Ball film, where they have slightly different power levels. The disappointment comes when comparing them to Krillin, who is stronger than both of them when they are not transformed into Super Saiyan. This shows that Krillin became much stronger due to his preparation for the Tournament of Power, but it also shows that the two Saiyan teenagers are leaving a lot to be desired. In 7th place, Cabba. Imagine that the mere commoner boy became stronger than the king of his entire planet. This is Cabba, the son that Vegeta wished he had. When first introduced, Cabba showed himself to be a different kind of Saiyan, since he had no tail and was neither savage nor wicked. Unlike the Saiyans of our Universe 7, the Saiyans of Universe 6 are peaceful heroes who are also warriors. But instead of raiding planets like the Arcosians of their universe, they carry out heroic missions to defeat villains across the galaxies. Cabba, like all Saiyans from Universe 6, was unaware of the existence of both the giant ape form and the Super Saiyan. In the Tournament of Gods, he was selected to fight Vegeta, and in order to help the boy, Vegeta said he would kill everyone on his planet to awaken Cabba's rage and make the boy transform for the first time. If you lay a finger on planet Sadala, if you lay a finger on my family, I will not forgive you. That worked, and Cabba as a Super Saiyan managed to go toe-to-toe with Vegeta's own Super Saiyan. Of course, the proud Vegeta would not allow that for long, so he decided to show the difference between the two by transforming into Super Saiyan Blue and knocking out Cabba with a single blow. Even so, Cabba showed courage and received praise. Vegeta said Cabba had the potential to reach Super Saiyan Blue one day, which is remarkable. We know Cabba is stronger than Yamoshi because this ancestral Saiyan from Universe 7 was defeated by a group of regular Saiyans who were not even transformed into Super Saiyan. And you all remember that all Saiyans, including Vegeta and his father King Vegeta, were completely dominated by Frieza in his base form. Frieza's base form had a power level of 530,000, and the version of this villain that Super Saiyan Goku defeated already had 140 million, 10 million less than Goku at that same moment. In other words, Goku was 283 times stronger than the version of Frieza that had the entire planet Vegeta trembling with fear, easily. According to Vegeta, Cabba without transforming had the same power as him without transforming, and it is very clear that Vegeta in his base form in Dragon Ball Super, after making countless power increases throughout all of Dragon Ball Z and still training with Whis, is stronger than Super Saiyan Goku, who fought Frieza on Namek. So we reach the conclusion that Cabba without transforming is at least 283 times stronger than any Saiyan of that era, let alone Yamoshi alone, even more so considering that Cabba now already has his Super Saiyan, which he also unlocked with Vegeta's help after refusing to give up against Mona, making him without a doubt stronger than Yamoshi. In 6th place we have Caulifla. Since both have the same transformations and very similar feats, it is difficult to know who is stronger between Cabba and Caulifla, but when we pay attention to the information given in the anime and the manga, we can clearly see that Caulifla is even more incredible than him. Caulifla easily surpasses Cabba in base form, but in turn is quickly overpowered when he becomes a Super Saiyan. Although she manages to learn the transformation shortly after, during the Tournament of Power, she was no match for Frieza in his final white form, who kicked her with enough force to send her flying into the central pillar of the arena, crushing it on impact. As a Super Saiyan, Caulifla still proved to be at a disadvantage against the Tyrant, who claimed she was not even fit to play with building blocks with him. However, she managed to catch Frieza off guard after he thought she had been defeated, and hit him solidly with a massive Kamehameha explosion that was powerful enough to destroy a large portion of the arena's edge and cause some minor damage to the Emperor of the universe. At that point, Frieza noted that compared to Super Saiyan Goku during his first fight on Namek, Caulifla's Super Saiyan was much stronger. In response, Frieza transformed into Golden Frieza and began defeating Caulifla easily, beating her around without using much of his power. In the manga, it is stated that the defense forces of Sadala, the planet Vegeta of Universe 6, cannot defeat Caulifla, and everyone there considers her the strongest Saiyan of Universe 6. She is regarded as a diva over there. In the fight between Caulifla and Cabba, I have to say Caulifla comes out on top. She is clearly more powerful, skilled, and talented than Cabba, probably by a considerable margin, while Cabba is more tactical. Based on the fact that Caulifla in her base form knocked down Cabba with a single kick and forced him to transform into Super Saiyan, it is obvious that Caulifla as a Super Saiyan surpassed Cabba by far, not to mention in Super Saiyan 2. Cabba is strong and talented, but he does not come close to Caulifla, much less to Kale. In 5th place, we have Kale. Everyone was shocked in the Tournament of Power when out of nowhere appeared a girl who transformed like the Broly from the old films. Although I find that pretty hilarious, her power is massively greater than that of almost all Saiyans, so let us respect her. Kale is a very quiet girl, and she does not like to talk or express herself much, but when she enters a rage, it is almost impossible to stop her power. This happens because, just like Broly from Universe 7, Kale is a mutant mutant Saiyan, being naturally stronger than regular Saiyans. She was born with great potential, which is actually a common trait among mutant Saiyans. In the Tournament of Power, she was capable of temporarily beating down Vegeta, who at that moment was using the power of his Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan transformation, or simply Super Saiyan Blue. This feat demonstrates that she is vastly superior to her universe companions. Who is the most powerful in Universe 6, Hit or Kale? Leave your opinion in the comments. From the top 5 downward, it is very easy to understand who the strongest are, because the anime and manga make that interpretation clear. However, the top 4 from here on will take into account the revelations of Whis about the power of the warriors, because he is the best evaluator of power we currently have in the story. So in 4th place we have Broly. Many people think that the only survivors of the explosion of planet Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z were Vegeta, Raditz, Nappa, Tarble, and Goku. In reality, 2 other Saiyans also survived, and this was told in the film Dragon Ball Super Broly. Broly, the star of the film, is a Saiyan who was born with power superior to that of Prince Vegeta, which enraged the king. Vegeta's father then wanted to put an end to Paragus' son, but of course Paragus would not allow it. He decided to flee with Broly to another planet, but since his ship broke down, he and Broly were stranded on the terrible planet Vampa. Then years and years passed until 2 of Frieza's soldiers discovered Broly, and Frieza, without thinking twice, brought him straight to Earth to fight Goku and Vegeta. Broly was so strong at that time that not even with the strongest forms that Goku and Vegeta could freely use were they able to defeat this monster. The more he was pressured, the more power he showed, and to put an end to this threat, the Gogeta fusion of Goku and Vegeta was necessary. But why is Broly only in 4th place? Because the story did not stop there. The manga covers those events and continues from that point. So after that, an entire saga happens, the Galactic Patrol Prisoner Saga, where Goku and Vegeta surpass Broly. This is something confirmed by Whis shortly after a new saga begins, the Granola the Survivor Saga, which comes right after the one I just mentioned. During a meditation session, Goku asks Whis if he knows anyone stronger than him and Vegeta in the universe. Whis says no, but that you never know when someone powerful might appear. Since Whis watched from the sidelines the fight between him and Vegeta and Gogeta against Broly, by deduction we can conclude that Broly does not reach the level of the two. More than 30 chapters after that meditation I mentioned, Broly returns in the manga, and by fighting against Gohan Beast and training with Goku and Vegeta, it is possible to confirm that he was indeed surpassed. In 3rd place, we have Vegeta. Goku's greatest rival was somewhat overlooked at several points in the continuation of Dragon Ball Z, but the Super Series gave Vegeta his due after all this time. You all remember that Vegeta was left far behind when Goku used Ultra Instinct against Jiren, the man who was stronger than a destroyer god. However, after that, Goku was surpassed by Vegeta. This happens precisely in the saga where Goku meditates with Whis, which I just mentioned. At that moment in the story, Whis and Beerus were competing to see which of the 2 disciples was the warrior that the Oracle Fish had dreamed would emerge as the strongest in the universe in the future, a prophetic dream. To win that competition, Beerus taught Vegeta the destroyer god's transformation. In the end, neither Goku nor Vegeta was the warrior from the fish's dream. It was Granola, the sole survivor of a planet raided by Frieza's army 40 years earlier. Vegeta fought Granola, and his performance against this antagonist was better than Goku's, showing the power of the new transformation he had achieved, Ultra Ego, which was only overcome when Granola used a hack that to understand you will need to read the manga, but I am thinking of bringing that complete saga to the channel, so if you want to receive it, subscribe with the bell activated. In 2nd place we have Gohan. This one is going to be controversial. Gohan is more than a Goku 2.0. He is a combat genius in ways that no other Saiyan has managed to replicate, since he is intelligent enough to understand techniques and transformations, and that is why he is so high on the list. Everyone remembers that Gohan finished Dragon Ball Z as the most powerful Saiyan, excluding fusions, just as in this video where I am not counting fusions. After that, Gohan had an enormous journey until he finally achieves relevant power again. We saw that due to academic life, Gohan stopped training to become a biologist. From the middle of Dragon Ball Super onward, he started fighting more or less decently, but it was only in the last released film that Gohan achieved an incredible level. The film Dragon Ball Super Superhero, which was later adapted into the manga, shows that Gohan obtained an evolution of the mystic power he had trained with the old Supreme Kai in Dragon Ball Z to become stronger to defeat Majin Buu. This evolution was awakened at seeing the near death of Piccolo and Pan in danger, and according to Akira Toriyama himself, creator of Dragon Ball, this transformation comes from the feeling that the inner fury awakened to face a classic villain, Cell, but not the Cell we know, but Cell Max, a new version created by a scientist who used the work of Dr. Gero from the Red Ribbon organization as a base. In the manga, Gohan greatly improves this form with Piccolo's help, and it becomes much more powerful than in the film. That is why I made the top 20 strongest video, and now Gohan is much higher on the list because more manga chapters came out after that video of mine. He was able to defeat Broly with ease, even after an exhausting battle against Goku. Against his father, Gohan managed to break through the Ultra Instinct defense, even though it cost him a lot of energy. But this would not mean Gohan is stronger than Goku. Well, actually it is not quite like that. When Goku arrived on Earth to see what Gohan had accomplished during the time he was away, his intentions were only to test Gohan, and that fight was friendly for the most part. Goku had the advantage, but after being struck, he wanted to stop the fight because he had already seen enough. The fight also makes it clear that Goku with Ultra Instinct and Gohan fight at a similar level. So what would break the tie are other factors. And what factors are those? After the Tournament of Power, Goku developed countless incredible abilities that he made a point of hiding in the last fight against Gohan. For example, a level of instant transmission that surpasses what he had before. He used this technique to fight gas in the manga. He also hid his strongest power, the Ki Avatar, which is unknown whether he can only use with Uub's help, but if he can use it alone, it is Goku's strongest ability to date. Against Gohan, Goku was also fighting with emotion, and I do not even need to say that this hurts Ultra Instinct, which needs a calm heart and a tranquil spirit to remain powerful. But Goku, even after a time skip and a great deal of meditative training to genuinely achieve that, did not bother to do so against Gohan. For all these reasons and a bit more, in first place we have Goku. It is not an absurd statement to say that Goku and Gohan are on equal footing, and everyone who wants to consider Goku and Gohan both at number 1 based on what was seen in the most recent battle is welcome to do so. The reason I put Goku in first place is that he holds many techniques and powers he developed throughout the Galactic Patrol Prisoner Saga and the Granola the Survivor Saga. So even though Goku and Gohan are currently compatible in power, Goku has more techniques, more experience, and a greater combat awareness than Gohan. We know Gohan slips up in various fights, and Goku would not forgive those mistakes, unlike Cellmax, who had no combat intelligence to notice that. But we cannot underestimate Gohan, since in Whis' own words, which I also used as the basis for this video, Gohan has exceptional abilities. The Angel himself, unlike everyone else, believed that the Goku and Gohan fight would be interesting, implying that Goku would not win easily as everyone thought. The only question that may remain for you is why Goku and Gohan surpass Vegeta. The simple fact is that Goku in Ultra Instinct Omen, or the true Ultra Instinct, a transformation inferior to the one he used against Gohan, already surpassed Vegeta in Ultra Ego. So both of them are certainly ahead based on what has been shown, unless something not yet shown interferes with this analysis, since the manga is still being released. But it would not make sense for me to consider that, would it? We have to consider what we have now. But going back to Gohan, until he has greater feats than Goku's in Ultra Instinct, this list will have our protagonist as number 1. When things change in the manga, I will bring a new list. And if you want to see the top 20 strongest in all of Dragon Ball, click on the video on the screen. To encourage me to keep bringing new videos, leave a like and subscribe so you do not miss the next ones. I am working very hard to bring you the best content, and I sincerely thank everyone for your support.